Sammy Davis Jr. was not just a performer, he was a legend. A multi-talented artist whose career spanned decades. Sammy brought his unique flair to every stage he graced. Whether it was through his impeccable dance moves, mesmerizing voice, or undeniable charm. But behind the scenes, there was something that few people knew about Sammy Davis Jr. A secret that would remain hidden for decades. For 30 years, his personal vault sat sealed, holding histories that no one could touch. But when they finally opened it, the world froze. Sammy Davis Jr. was part of the most iconic group in entertainment history, the Rat Pack. Alongside Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and others, Sammy helped define an era of cool. He was a symbol of resilience, breaking racial barriers in a world that wasn't always kind to him. But what was Sammy really like behind the glitz and glamour? What was the man behind the legend hiding in that vault? After his death in 1990, his family decided that after 30 years, it was finally time to open the vault. The decision wasn't taken lightly. Sammy's estate was always surrounded by mystery. And this vault represented the last remnants of his personal life. A life many fans, even his closest friends, knew very little about. When they opened it, it was like unlocking a time capsule. Inside, they discovered more than just old memorabilia. There were photographs, handwritten notes, personal letters, and recordings that Sammy himself had kept hidden. But there was one thing in particular that caught everyone's attention. A set of journals that had never been seen by anyone before. As they began to go through the journals, the team realized they were reading Sammy's own words, his thoughts, his fears, and his reflections on his life, career, and struggles. They were more than just memorabilia. They were a window into the mind of a man who had spent his entire life in the public eye, but who had never fully revealed himself. One journal entry in particular left everyone speechless. Sammy wrote about the constant pressure of being in the spotlight, the feeling of never being accepted by certain circles, even within the entertainment industry he had dominated for decades. He talked about his personal struggles with racism, how despite his fame and success, he was still seen as an outsider by many. What was even more shocking was a letter that Sammy had written to his daughter, which had never been sent. This letter wasn't just a message of love. It was a heartfelt confession. Sammy spoke of his regrets, his fears about leaving a legacy, and his hopes that she would understand the complexities of his life. He expressed how much he wanted her to know the truth about him, not the public persona, but the real man behind the stage. As they continued to sift through the vault's contents, more secrets were uncovered. There were rare private recordings of Sammy performances that had never been released to the public. Songs that he had written but never recorded. Personal photographs of Sammy with his closest friends and family. Moments frozen in time, never shared with anyone before. But perhaps the most shocking discovery was a series of letters from his good friend, Frank Sinatra. These letters revealed a side to the relationship that no one knew about. An emotional bond that went beyond the business of show business. Sinatra had written Sammy about the struggles they both faced, the pressure of their fame, and the sacrifices they made for their careers. It was clear that the vault held more than just souvenirs of a man who had lived a larger-than-life existence. It was a testament to his humanity, a glimpse into the private life of a man who had spent so much of his time entertaining the world that he barely had any time left for himself. What shocked everyone wasn't just the contents of the vault, but how much of Sammy Davis Jr. had been kept hidden from the public eye. The vault contained not just memorabilia, but raw, unfiltered moments of a man who had always been on stage. but who had rarely shown his true self. Opening Sammy Davis Jr.'s vault after 30 years wasn't just about uncovering memorabilia or unlocking secrets. It was about understanding the true essence of who he was. A man who had faced adversity, broken barriers, and conquered the world of entertainment, but who had never fully revealed the depths of his personal struggles. Sammy Davis Jr. was a legend, yes, but he was also a father, a friend, and a man who wrestled with the same fears and vulnerabilities that we all do. And now, 30 years later, we're finally able to understand him in a way we never could before. The vault is now open, but Sammy's legacy lives on. The man we thought we knew has been revealed in ways that no one could have imagined. His vault didn't just contain items from his career. It contained the very soul of Sammy Davis Jr., a man who gave everything to the world, but kept so much for himself. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.